because I didn't trust my team. What I should have done was model to them how I expected the job to be completed. But instead of me doing that, I went ahead and took care of it myself. Like, I know y'all probably did, but in this moment, I did not trust my team. And so that's something I had to forgive myself for. All right, so let's start over here. To share out. Okay,
the next one, forgive myself for overeating chips and popcorn. Don't need the salt. I ate 2 bags of double good popcorn. I'm forgivable. And forgive me for not setting a good goal, or excuse me, setting a goal that I did not fulfill. And this one was cute. For being a little more caring or giving to her husband.
All right. Okay.
Hi everyone, my name is Judy, Broward County Business and Professional Network Club. And we are a small team, so we had one spending outside of my budget because I love Marshalls. And the next one is I'm not loving myself enough to exercise and drink water.
Hello, I'm Juanita White from the Greater Memphis Hub. I had to, the first one says, I ate too much candy before going to bed. Another one says, sending a thank you card to my church. Oh, my trip. Here's another one says, I had to forgive myself for repeating myself. I always keep repeating myself. All right.
Not a good encourager to myself, Amazon purchase. 3 times with Mr. Walker. That was me. I wish to forgive myself and take better care of my hair. I need to forgive myself for not following through with my resolutions. Went over budget. I forgive myself for not being able to ask for help and not being able to graciously accept help that is given. Not calling family members to see how they are doing. I forgive myself for not getting things done. Getting more with my daughter. And a health challenge. For a week again. Oh, I'm sorry. Perhaps a person can help me. Okay, I had a health challenge about 8 weeks ago. I promised myself to keep good exercise program. Keep a good part of a good exercise program. And I have started, but I'm not consistent. They feel bad. They don't feel bad. Forgive myself. I forgive myself for not taking time for myself, and that's the problem. And forgive the uniform staff. They want to forgive themselves for how they spoke with the uniform staff.
Not sticking to my fitness routine. I got upset with myself for giving Amazon most of my social security check. I need to forgive myself for shopping first before paying a bill. Need to forgive myself for not spending enough time, quality time with my son, because I have been on the road a lot in the last 4 months. I forgive myself for making, I need some help on here.
For making assumptions.
Assumptions, okay? I forgive myself for not saying no to having so many meetings before coming to this conference.
Be bold and courageous and identifying things that we need to forgive ourselves for. So now that we have reflected on that, we've written it, posted it, so it's done. Give yourselves a round of applause. You're forgiven. You're forgiven. All right, so now we are moving to the last part of this workshop. We first talked about how to give grace to ourselves. Now we need more into the segment where we are giving grace in the workplace, even in challenging circumstances. So now we need to talk about how are we going to give grace to one another in the workplace today. It's becoming difficult for teachers to show up to work each and every day.
Yeah.
Okay? And so one thing that I say to them every morning in our group text message, whether I know they're going to be absent or not, hopefully this will encourage them to come to work. And Sellars is so thankful for the work that you do. I know this work can be crazy at times. I know that you may be able to make the same money as a AAA manager. I get it. But I need to make sure that I stop and I let you know as many times as I can how much I appreciate the work that you are doing each and every day. Even for a teacher that has a lot of absences or it's a lot of things that prevent a teacher from coming to work, I can easily say, here she comes down the hallway, late again. Late. I'm tired of her being late. Of course, that's sometimes I'm thinking. But on them days when she's on time, I'm ecstatic. Oh my God, I can't believe it. I'm so thankful you're on time. We need you. You're a valuable member of this team. Your students need you. They have a better day when you're here on time. So sometimes you have to reframe your mind and just always express gratitude. You want to express gratitude for things that people are communicating to you that's going on with them, and there's some people who are suffering in silence, but you have no idea how much they're going through. So you want to make sure that you just evenly, as much as you can, express that gratitude. It makes a world of a difference. Reflection. Making time for self-reflection is imperative. It can be difficult to see the forest for the trees. Self-reflection allows the grace to take responsibility for mistakes without allowing negative emotions, such as guilt or shame, to cloud your judgment moving forward. You don't have to rush to make decisions all the time. Sometimes you need to take some time and reflect. There's been plenty of times where I've been ready to maybe write up an employee because they violated a policy or protocol we had in school. But one thing that I'm learning, okay, Brooke, you need to check your emotions before you bring this teacher in. Check your emotions. You need to be very calm, you need to stick to the facts, and you also need to show some compassion. So those moments of reflection can stop you from making a bad decision. In one of these cases, the teacher didn't even deserve to be written up. But because the teacher had been making a lot of mistakes, I automatically just read it. I was done with it. But in this situation, I had to think to myself, okay, instead of me being so punitive, let me try to be restorative. How can I help you, ma'am, sir, to make better decisions in the workplace? How can I help you to be a better teacher? How can I help you to be a better leader in the classroom? How can I help you to be a better colleague, a better teammate? So in some situations, taking that time for reflection, it definitely produces a better outcome. Okay? So always remember to reflect. Even in those dark times when you feel like your hand is forced to make a decision, take some moments to reflect. You might want to talk to your mentor, a trusted friend, somebody that's been through it before, and let them walk you through it. You're not alone when you make these decisions. Active listening. Listen attentively when your employees speak, taking care to defer judgment, ask open-ended questions, and paraphrase when appropriate to show your genuine desire to come to a mutual beneficial understanding. Let me talk to you guys about active listening. I thought I was a good active listener. I really did. I thought I was listening to my teachers when they come in to the office, and so my ears is open, but my body language, I'm typing, I'm not giving no eye contact, I'm in the middle doing what I gotta do. I'm like, yeah, I hear you. Say what? Okay. You know, I'm listening, but I'm also doing other things. That's not being a good active listener.
Right.
When these people are in my office, I'm like, what was she just talking about? I wasn't listening. I wasn't hearing what they were saying. And so in order to be an active listener, you have to ask open-ended questions. I'm hearing that you feel like this. So what you're saying is this. To clarify, you feel like your opinion wasn't heard, you need to make sure that you use those question stems to really get that active listening communication going on. And that lets the person who's communicating with you, that lets them feel like, okay, they're actually taking the time to listen. Give them eye contact. Stop everything that you're doing. Not looking at your phone, not looking at your computer, all the distractions in that moment. Let that person feel like they're being heard. Okay? And so a lot of active listening question stems, that has helped me be more engaging in the conversation. And so when the conversation is over, I can see that person at ease because they felt like, okay, Ms. Sellars was listening. She didn't answer her phone. She didn't check her text message. She didn't respond back to the radio. She didn't go jump to go handle another conflict. In that moment, I was practicing active listening. Commitment. You may not feel comfortable demonstrating your abilities, but leaders need to be aware that your team is consistently modeling the behavior they see. When you commit yourself to lead with grace and compassion, you give yourself and your organization the mindset and tools to succeed during any circumstances. I don't ask my team to do anything that I wouldn't do.
That's right.
I'm the first person on the field trip. I'm outside at recess. I'm sitting with a class during lunch. If we are short with substitutes, I'm also making sure that I am covering classes. I still teach classes as an assistant principal. I don't ask my team to do anything that I wouldn't do. So I model the behavior that I want them to model for their students. That's very important. I can't expect them to do things that I wouldn't do. They'll find me in the concession stand, I'm rolling the hot dogs out. I'm counting the bag of chips. I'm doing game duty. I'm shopping. I'm going to track meets. I'm not going to put anything on their plate that I wouldn't first put on my plate. So it's very important. You have to model the behavior that you want to see. And then once you model it for them, you got to inspect what you expect. You can't just trust they're going to do it. Now you need to follow up and see, are they doing exactly what I asked them to do? That's what we call inspect and we expect. Very so one thing as leaders, we can't be too far removed in the Oval Office and not having I'm really hands-on, I have boots on the ground every day with my teachers. They need to see that I'm in this fight with you. I'm in this struggle with you. Together, we're going to figure this out. All right, the last one is embrace. Encourage diversity of thought is critical, especially during a workplace conflict. Being curious allows you to explore challenges and find innovative solutions and opportunities. Encourage your team to think outside the box and be open-minded. You need people on your team to think outside the box. You need innovators and creators. You need those people because you're not going to be able to think everything through yourself. You're just as good as your team. So you want to encourage those teachers who are innovative or those employees that are innovative and they come to you with unconventional solutions to problems. You need those people around. They keep you quick on your feet, okay? And they keep you knowledgeable. This allows you to identify and quickly address new opportunities being created as a result of a conflict. I believe in shared leadership. I don't want to be the only leader on the hallway. I need everybody that's on my team to be a leader. All right, so I'm going to start with what I had to write down on my forgiveness statement. So I had to forgive myself for completing extra tasks simply because I failed to trust my team to get the job done. So I'm overworking myself because I didn't trust my team that works closely with me. I didn't trust them to get the job done. What I should have done was model to them how I expected the job to be completed. But instead of me doing that, I went ahead and took care of it myself. And they're looking at me and wondering, we could have did that for you, Miss Sellars. And I'm looking at them like, I know y'all probably did, but in this moment, I did not trust my team to be able to handle situations of conflicts without me being there. And I need to be able to trust you to do so. So once you have gotten to a certain place of leadership, now it's time to empower somebody else. You got to bring the next folks up. You got to plant that seed within them, just like somebody planted that seed within me. So that's very important. What you know, you got to show someone else. There's no secrets. There's no secrets in leadership. We need more leadership, especially with our younger people coming up. They need mentors like you who are ready to take the time to show them the ropes and show them all the potential that they can be when it comes to being a leader. As a team, you guys are going to decide how would you use grace in this situation. Okay? These are situations that occur every day in the workplace. How are you going to solve this issue, but use grace at the same time?
For our scenarios, basically about someone getting off on the wrong foot with a coworker. And so at our table, we talk a lot about straight talk and knowing who you are and sharing that with new employees or new staff members. Like I know the type of person that I'm always going to try to address issues. And so just really talking with them in advance saying, hey, this is the type of person I am. I'm going to ask a lot of questions. Please don't get offended by it. But really set the stage at the very beginning and not waiting until you get down the road. So we talk a lot about straight talk, communicating, and being respecting and honoring others.
Awesome. Good job.
Our scenario 2 says someone sends you urgent requests after hours. And our discussion was based on the time, which was 5 a.m. in the morning. It was received at 5 a.m. our time because the colleague sent it from France. And there were 11 requests. We don't know if it was all in one call or multiple calls that it came through, but trying to be respectful of the colleague and the urgency that that person is feeling, but also recognizing at 5 o'clock in the morning there's very little that you can do other than mentally prepare for what it is that you need to, the way you need to respond. So the response would be, thank you very much, I received your request, and I'll get on it as soon as I get into the office.
Now things are awkward between you two. You definitely want to keep the friendship going, but they aren't even speaking to you outside of team meetings. So we, felt the best recommendation for a scenario like this is to have a one-on-one, with your work friend. No one else is around. Do it through a lunch. Have an icebreaker, like bring them some lunch, some coffee. Even leaving a card to let them know that I'm thinking of you. And but during this scenario, whether they say it's lunch or bring them some coffee, the opportunity is to have a conversation, to address the elephant in the room.
Good job,
Scenario 4. Oh, I am Tamika Horton from the Metro Atlanta Club. Hi, thank you for being here today. Scenario 4. Disagreement over a task. You think solution 1 offers the most significant benefits to your client, while your colleague feels solution 2 mutually benefits both companies in a discussion in a work meeting. So the discussion becomes heated and you try to find a resolution that encompasses both points. So our suggestions are to validate the suggestions of all parties involved, to make a list of pros and cons, to find the benefits and pull from the list, to be open to both options, and perhaps have a 2-part solution if time permits and funds are available for that, and to ensure that you dedicate time to research and getting more info and clarity on the facts.
Okay, scenario 5.
Hi, I am Lily Smith from the West Central Georgia Club. Our scenario is an employee not meeting expectations. This person, the payroll staff, the payroll director, has noticed that this person has recently started handing in her timesheet late. Not only does this affect her pay, but everybody else's pay, they can't get paid because all the paperwork has to be done together. And so the situation is, you've also noticed that this person has become withdrawn from the team and seems to have distanced herself from everybody else. So you're annoyed with the work performance, but you're also concerned about their welfare. So we decided we should have a one-on-one conversation with this person, kind of do like a welfare check. Find out how things going. Have a conversation with the person. Give them an opportunity to share what they're going through, what's feeling. Because this is something that's recent. It's not a habit. It's a recent situation, so we know something is going on. And so when you talk to this person, you just make some observations. Well, I noticed, you're not as prompt with your timesheet as you've been in the past. And what can we do to resolve the situation? Because what happens to you affects everybody else. And we wanted to work on this thing together. So we're going to do this now, and then we're going to set aside some time later so that we can talk about anything else that you need to share.
Greetings, Sellars, Dixon, South Florida Club. Scenario number 6. We are the Creative Differences Incorporated team.
Okay.
You're on an architectural team designing a new school building. You're excited to have this opportunity. You're working with another person on the interior design elements, such as the final building's color, schemes, and furniture. While you're worried about the overall aesthetic appeal for the students, your partner only seems to care about functionality. You feel like they're dismissing your ideas without considering them, and it's causing friction between you. Our company has different divisions that consist of all of these different concerns. So we have a professional who deals with color research. And what she brought to the team was that based on the color, it has an impact on the psychological aspect of that student's ability to learn. to calm down within the classroom. We had another person on our team who was concerned about the functionality of the chairs. We have chairs that work in a classroom that's set up for computers, where that chair can roll around. You can still put items under the chair. You also have chairs that don't have wheels on them, and so that's your standing chair. And then of course you had the old school desk that you lifted the top of the desk up. So when we looked at it, we had someone on our team that's responsible for the coordination of all the efforts. And so in order for us to mediate and come to a final decision, we thought that it was very important that the color that our professional colorists decided upon was what we would use. And the functionality of the chair would be based on the color.
Good morning. Good morning. We are the different styles of working team. And our team consists of Greensboro Club, as well as myself, Dr. Leslie Monaday of the Triad Club. The scenario is your manager has put you and your colleague together to work on producing a new staff handbook. Unfortunately, your different working styles cause conflict between you. While you prefer group work, they prefer to work by themselves. You like working to a tight deadline, whereas your colleague prefers to get things done ahead of time. You're spending more time arguing about how to write the handbook than writing the document. And so what we talked about was lots of great ideas, but once we figured out we were dealing with people that had different opinions about how they approach their work, different styles, we talked about, the manager honoring both styles, but also the manager setting a timeline, and that the workbook would be done in a digital Google type format. And the individual that likes to get things done ahead of time, let them take the tasks that require being done first. And the individual that likes to take their time, let them take the tasks that don't really have, set time that needs to be done, it just needs to be done. And so that's how we handle that situation.
Okay, our group has scenario 8, discrimination. And let me say first, discrimination is covered actually under federal law. But the scenario says, you find yourself passed over for a promotion again. Only this time you know the other candidate was less qualified than yourself. When you ask for feedback, it's vague and indirect. You worry that there's another reason besides performance for their decision. You feel uncomfortable and think you ought to raise this with someone. The first thing that we decided that you have to do is keep a level playing ground by maintaining, keeping your emotions under control and not getting angry over the issue. So once you've done that, you want to find out what the protocols are for the office as far as hierarchy and who do you go to first to report what you're feeling or what you think and believe.
Start with what I had to write down in my forgiveness statement. So I had to forgive myself for completing extra tasks simply because I failed to trust my team to get the job done. So I'm overworking myself because I didn't trust my team. My team that works closely with me, I didn't trust them to get the job done. What I should have done was model to them how I expected the job to be completed. But instead of me doing that, I went ahead and took care of it myself. And they're looking at me and wondering, we could have did that for you, Miss Sellars. And I'm looking at them like, I know y'all probably did, but in this moment, I did not trust my team. And so that's something I had to forgive myself for. All right, so let's start over here.